Hi friends and welcome to Viktors Reality. Today we have Demon's Souls on the PlayStation 5 on the Samsung Odyssey G7 versus the LG27GN950 4K monitor. Now the signal here is at 4K 60Hz in HDR and SDR mode. As you can see here, I have the Rtings HDR nits per monitor settings, and it shows how bright the monitor can get in HDR mode. Here with the peak highlights at 10%, 25%, 50% and full screen, and currently what you're seeing on screen is in HDR, you can easily see how the LG has 700 nits plus compared to the Samsung's 530, 470, 360, and at full screen, for example like this screen you're seeing exactly at this moment, it's 320 versus a 440 nit screen. And you can tell the difference at full screen here, the 320 versus the 440. Everything looks crystal clear, it looks beautiful on both monitors. The Samsung Odyssey G7's VA contrast does make everything just so immersive that the colors and the black levels make everything 3D-ish. And I say 3D-ish because the color depth, the color and contrast vibrancy of everything of the whole picture in total make it look really good even though it's dimmer. While the LG makes everything pop with color and vibrancy because of the amazing brightness. And with my time playing here on both of these monitors, honestly my opinion would be, even though you do see the LG, you might say, hey, it looks washed or something like that, I would prefer to play HDR. If I played in HDR only on the LG, I wouldn't play HDR on the Odyssey just because it just doesn't look bright enough for me. But you will see as we go on in the video, in SDR mode, it's a whole nother story. Now we're looking here at the clouds. This is a perfect example of what a 25% of the screen would be of peak highlights. This is my estimation, but as with screenshots coming up, you will see it's a good estimation, and I think I got it correct. Now you can see here, this is, I believe, at a 25% peak highlights, and you can see the LG on the right is brighter than the Samsung on the left. And if we go by numbers, that would equal to a 470 nit brightness on the left versus a 720 nit brightness on the right of the LG. I don't say a 10% because coming up you will see what I believe would be a 10%, and the returns are diminished once you compare them. Remember, you can always calibrate your HDR in the game settings with brightness, contrast and saturation to make the images pop even more than this video, but this is on default. Everything is on stock other than the Samsung Odyssey G7 being on cinema preset versus the LG's Gamer 1 mode, both on 80 contrast, so nothing clips. And you can see here this image how beautiful both monitors look, but the Samsung Odyssey G7 does win always in contrast. Just makes everything 3D-ish. That's the best I can say. It kind of seems like if the Samsung Odyssey G7 has like a wet kind of a look because the dark levels are so good compared to the LG's paper look. If that makes any sense, I try to give you an explanation of how I see it, and I think that captures it pretty well. Now this is a 10% image is what I'm trying to show you. I'd say this is 10% because it's a lot smaller. The white pocket is a lot smaller. And if we go by numbers, the 10%, it would be about 530 nits on the left on the Samsung Odyssey G7 versus 710 nits on the right on the LG. And you can see it's getting closer, while the contrast of the G7 does make everything just pop. But the LG's nits power is shown here, but of course it's a smaller difference compared to the 25% that I showed earlier. Now if we do look at both of them to give you a better example again of what I'm talking about, up top is 25% and bottom is 10%. As you can see, the 25% is more noticeable than the 10%, and this is in HDR mode. If you choose to play it, this is what you would come to expect. But both look beautiful, both look awesome regardless. If you're solely buying this for HDR, the LG would be better. Coming up, you will see what I'm talking about on the SDR, and you have to remember the total picture package, VA contrast, size, speed, everything. You should take all that into account when making a purchase, as both of these at these sizes are priced accordingly and are priced almost the same. Now let's go to SDR mode. Visually, they look a lot more colorful, and you can see with the Rtings SDR brightness calibrated numbers, 330 in full screen versus 420 on the LG. The LG, as you can see, is a flat 420 across the board. Highlights, full screen, a steady and nice 420, while the Samsung Odyssey G7, this is where I believe shows its power that you can also use it in SDR mode with the local dimming. Now both of these have local dimming on, but look at the Samsung 540, 470, 370, and 330. Plus, with that contrast, it just easily defeats the LG. I would say in SDR mode, the Odyssey G7 beats the LG27 in every single visual screen I've seen in-game, while in HDR, the LG does beat the Odyssey G7 in terms of HDR specific highlights and brightness, but it doesn't defeat it in contrast. So it all really depends on what you're looking for, brightness, power, or contrast. If you're a person that does not keep this at 70 to 80 brightness, meaning if you don't care for total blow out your eyes, shoot your eyes with a cannon of light, right? I mean, you get what I'm saying? Then the Odyssey G7 is your pick, because that's the only thing the LG27 has it going for it, is that it does produce those big bright images. If you tend to not keep your monitor high up there in the brightness, then it doesn't matter what it produces. The Odyssey G7 with its contrast just destroys it. Again, that is my opinion, and I'm just trying to show you here just to help you in your buying decision. Now here's another side-by-side. You can see in SDR mode, the Odyssey G7 on the left does look brighter. This is SDR. It would be reversed in HDR. In SDR, the G7 does win. Now, don't pay attention to the clarity. While the LG is clearer than the Odyssey, I have noticed that in all my videos, the LG is 1 to 2 frames faster than the G7. And here's a screenshot of that. As you can see, the monster's hand is already swinging on the LG while it's about to start hitting that point on the G7. This is in gaming and in PC. The LG is 1 to 2 frames faster. Just want to note that, just so you can see the LG is faster. So to sum it all up, both monitors play Demon's Souls exceptionally well. The best monitors on the market currently right now, and you can't go wrong with either of them. It just depends, again, if you want VA contrast and size, because I do have here the 32-inch version, or if you just want awesome viewing angles with an exceptionally bright image in HDR and in full screen, of course at a steady 420 nits, like the info shows. And showing here the 4 screens, HDR and SDR, Odyssey G7 on the left and the LG on the right, you can see easily that the SDR mode does produce a more uniform, brighter picture on both of them. And in my opinion, for HDR to be truly utilized, and example for me to keep it on all the time, regardless of VA contrast or IPS technology, we do need better backlighting. We need more efficient, more local dimming zones, full array local dimming. But again, if you want that, you're gonna have to pay over 1K, as there are monitors that can produce that, but they are over $1,500. $2,000. So that's something in the future, as technology gets better, will trickle down to our sized wallets and budgets. But for this video, my conclusion is that the LG 27GN950 beats the Odyssey G7 in HDR mode, while the Odyssey G7 does beat the LG 27GN950 in SDR mode. It's weird, right, how one beats the other, but again, this is my opinion, and here is the visual proof so you can see the differences to make an awesome buying decision. But both of these monitors are beautiful. And here are some screenshots to show the contrast difference in a very dark room. You can see easily here how the Odyssey G7 just destroys the LG 27 in terms of contrast. But this is fixed on the LG if you have a lamp. If you have some kind of bright LED system in the back of your monitor, it does diminish. And of course, it's more pronounced because I do have them side by side. But if you only had one, I bet you won't even notice. So there you have it, friends. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did find it helpful, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on a future Samsung Odyssey G7 or LG 27GN950 video. I'll see you guys next time.